Alright, welcome back to Blue Exorcist Anime Review, episode number 48. We're here reviewing the third to last episode of, the fifth season of the show. Yep, fifth season, despite the fact I've also seen this referred to as, third core of the third season of the show. It's basically, it's fifth season. Yeah. Yeah. This one's called Light. This adapts, and I had to basically look at it myself because the people who the wiki site did this themselves. This episode adapts from pretty much the entirety of chapter 118 and the first 15 pages of chapter 119. You think, wow. At that point, you think, oh, maybe next episode kept this arc off. No, I think next episode will probably cover the chapters that were skipped over. I think that probably next episode will cover 119 and 120. Yes, maybe a mix of it anyways, because honestly, there's not much left to adapt for this whole arc. You thinking, really? Yeah, aside from maybe 119. So, in the past 10 episodes, here's what the season has covered. Yeah, I know in fact there's 2 more episodes to go. The opening episode covers chapter 100, which is the opening chapter of the arc, and the first 16 pages of chapter 101. The very next episode covers the rest of chapter 101 and goes straight to 102. In the case of 64, it's basically chapter 103 and pages 12 to 21 of chapter 104. Episode 68 pretty much adapts most of the remaining chapter of 104, the entirety of chapter 105. 66 adapts 106, 107. Episode 67 is 108, 109. 68, this was interesting because this was also the stuff from the previous season was skipped over. It was 1627, chapter 97, pages 921, chapter 99. That was the first half of the chapter. The first 30 pages of chapter 99.5. 2024 of chapter 118. It's in 110, excuse me. And chapter 114 of the manga. The title of the episode that's also the same name as the title of the Dark Blue Knight, episode 69 of the series, adapts chapters 115, 116, and first 22 pages of the second half of chapter 116. Next episode adapts pretty much the rest of it, and plus 117. This episode goes from 118 into the first 15 pages of chapter 119. And you're thinking, at this point, you think, oh, there's not much. You think maybe two chapters left. Not really. There is, because I know one episode they pretty much didn't finish that, but yeah, it was chapter 110, I believe it was. Yeah, 110. Because a lot of present day stuff. So my guess is either next week's episode or the following episode, probably the rest of chapter 110 goes to probably the entirety of chapters 111 to 112, I think it is. Oh, actually 113. Yeah, my guess is that over the course of the next couple episodes, they're probably going to finish adapting the remainder of this arc that has not been adapted yet. That's probably what we're going to see in the next couple episodes. So here's what happens. We pick up left off last episode where Shiro was basically sliced up by a Yeti. This is after, of course, Yuri died in the last episode. He basically yells. He gets tossed away by a Yeti. And the baby's drop. The way it was shown here, it seemed like he was about to drop the babies, slam on the ground. But no, he doesn't do that because basically they have dropped them and they're crying like crazy. They're crying their eyes out, basically. And you can't let the babies die. So they skip the scene, basically what happens next. They're probably seeing it for next episode. So he shoots the head in the head and we cut straight to, we do see, we're seeing is basically he's in the version of their afterlife. He talks to Yuri for a bit, where she basically tries to say something to him, but he just basically destroys her spirit. And she goes away. And meanwhile, though, at 613, Lucifer is basically, who's also Lord of King of Light. He proceeds to walk, because he's that powerful. And he, which unleashes light, But then, of course, he's stopped by his brother, Mephisto, aka Samael, by sealing his heart long enough for basically Shimi's awesome grandma to basically seal his power and kind of destroy his body. Though eventually they do find later on they do have some remains. Though we also see his kid, who maybe like something would happen with him. We do see the head doctor, where he's basically looking like a bunch of dead bodies, looking to save his research, presumably. We do see a past version of Light in this arc, in this episode, where we see followed by the guy who actually has him in custody in the present day. Also, I should point out, I thought Rin is nowhere this episode. You're thinking, where the heck is Rin? Is he? Was it cut from the episode? No, he wasn't, because he was in the chapters. That's why. So, and of course they do dig out somebody, and well, some of this little remain stuff, and a lot of people died. We do briefly see some characters from present day, like a young version of Shimi, the pink hair guy with the demon, who's basically smiling because he's that creepy of a guy. And you could see this episode's a lot of setup for the very next episode. Yeah. But all in all, basically, it's a great episode, and I can't wait for the next episode to air this Sunday. So the Sunday is going to be getting crowded, given the fact we have a bunch of stuff coming out Sunday. If you're curious, well, there is I'm the Evil Lord of Intergalactic Empire. That was confirmed for that day, despite the fact this episode's been leaked by Crunchyroll for some reason. So, in case you're curious, there's no new anime until Friday with news episode Dragon Ball Daima. Well, the only new episode I probably might get for this week is maybe I'm the Evil Lord of Intergalactic Empire. Hopefully the episode's not getting shorter. But aside from that, you have Dragon Ball Daima this Friday. On Saturday, you have 4 anime coming out. But here's the thing. Only one I'll be watching. And that's from Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman that we were watching. Black Butler, Fire Force, and Killing Slimes 300 Years. Waiting for the dub for those 3. So, and Sunday, it's of course basically... Well, actually, move that one. Let me delete that one there. So, it's from Country Master Swordsman, Evil Lord Intergalactic Empire, and One Piece returns on. Technically, there's extra returns coming Saturday, and then of course next Monday we have 2 brand new anime. We have Yandere Dark Elf. She takes me all the way back to the real world. This one we'll be watching when it comes out, which I think that might be a dub. I heard something online. Crunchyroll say, not Crunchyroll, it was I think it was High Dive. I think it was said it was a dub the day before. I'll check that out that day. My Hero Vigilantes, which come out next week. Gonna wait for a dub for that one because I'm sure it's gonna be a dub because basically it's My Hero. On Thursday, we will see the return of Our Last Crusade, The Rise in the World, for the first time in not 10 months, more like, oh my gosh, 9 months. Wait for the show to come back. And of course, the following Sunday, of course, basically, well, and the following Sunday, of course, basically, which happened 2 days before my next birthday, we'll see the conclusion of 2 anime. That being this season, of course, Blue Exorcist will have 2 more episodes released dubbed, and of course the last 2 episodes for 100 Girlfriends, which means after that point in time, Sunday will be kind of reduced down from having 4 for 1 week, and the next week will be down to after the following week will be down to 2, and for the next while basically we'll be down to just basically 2. Yes, also we do also have releasing this month is Konosuba. Yeah. I've also been buying light novels when I get a chance to and put on my calendar when they get released, but this month there's nothing. There's no new light novels coming out. Of all the series I currently read, nothing is coming out this month. If you're really curious, there's a couple coming out next month. That being on the 13th of May, being News Find for ReZero, and another on my smartphone. I think also there's one other one coming that month, but that's it. Yeah, I think it's kind of weird that April's taking a month off, the month basically I'm born. I don't think it's by sheer coincidence that basically it's like that. Yep. But, not much else to say this episode. But next up, basically, we have is a Comic Corner, and I'll probably call it a night at that point, okay? But next video, tomorrow. Okay?